and welcome to the first module in the Online Facilitators Training Program. In this first video, we are going to talk a little bit about why teaching online is important and, address some of the things that you might be worried about. We're going to also talk about some of the positives and some of the limitations that online learning is going to offer us. First thing we need to think about when we're going to talk about online education is the idea of the internet and how it's changed communication. It used to be that communication was a face-to-face thing. You would meet a friend and you would talk face-to-face. If you were going to go to college or in any sort of school setting, it was a face-to-face. The teacher stood in front of the class listened. Then we would write letters to communicate with people. We can call people on the phone. But as time has progressed, technology has made leaps and bounds in terms of communication. I could create a video and then send it across the country to communicate with people, to give them knowledge or tell my stories or whatever the case is. I can use Facebook to connect to people I haven't seen in years. I could pick up my cell phone and see the face of someone that I'm talking to, which is in another country. That's amazing. So it's done a lot to progress communication, change the way we communicate, and we're going to sort of look at ways that we can adapt our education to that in an online setting. You're probably familiar with a lot of technologies already. If you haven't used it, you're probably familiar with the names of it, the Facebook, the Skyping, the Twitter, things like that. So a lot of the technologies that we talk about, the open source technologies like the Facebook and the Twitter, or the learning management systems like Desire2Learn, which we use at Wilkes, are things that you might already be familiar with and just looking for a little bit better understanding, and I hope that we're going to help that. Originally, it was when we utilized technology in the classroom, it used to be that the technology was an aid to our education, to the students. It was an aid in terms of a whiteboard, or it was an overhead projector. It could have been, just as basic as using a word processor. That was the technology that we used to have. But now, technology is it's more than just aiding your education. Now it is adding a whole new world of collaboration, and it's enhancing the education. So when we talk about technology, and even looking at the littlest changes that have happened over the past 20 years, the first thing that we really need to understand is that technology is going to change. It's ever changing. By the time that you finish this video, there's going to be 25 new technologies that are out and 100 more that are going to be obsolete. So what we're trying to do in this course is not to teach you, make you a genius in this technology. That's not our goal. Our goal is to take the teaching styles that you already have and to adapt them for an online community, to work with your pedagogy and your strategies that you have and put them into that online environment. So if we were to train you to be the greatest in the world at a certain technology, within a year, that technology is going to be old news, and you're going to be stuck wondering, what do I do with it now? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you the ability to develop these online programs for any technology, to make you a better instructor independent of the technology that you use. When we talk about higher education, right now there's a big movement to a combination of the classes being a face-to-face class as well as an online component to it. The way that this is approached, unfortunately, too often, is that they're kept separate. You would have your face-to-face class, which would be all the way over here, and you would have your online class all the way over here. And that's not how it should be. What it should be is it should be an integration between those two parts. That the face-to-face class should build upon the online class, which builds upon the face-to-face class. And that's what we're going to try and work with in this program, to get them to work together instead of two different entities. When we talk about online education, there are a large amount of benefits to it. If there weren't this many benefits, then people wouldn't be doing it, but there are. The first benefit is the idea of the flexibility of time. Think about all those people out there that were restricted because they had a lot of work requirements, or that they had a family that they had to support, and they didn't have the time to go to the conventional face-to-face 8 to 4 college environment, but they wanted to get that degree. This allows them to do this. They can take their classes at 4 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. They can get up in the middle of the night and do one of their discussion posts. The freedom of the time restraints is just one of the biggest advantages here. The second advantage would be the flexibility in your location. Let's say you wanted to pursue a degree that wasn't offered at any college around you, and you weren't prepared to move. Let's say that you were in a very rural area and no colleges were around you. Now you have access to colleges around the world because of online education. People in California could be taking courses in Florida. So it's a really amazing benefits based on location. The next one is the idea of information sharing. It used to be that the professor's in the front of the class and they're giving the information to the class. Okay, so it was a one-to-many sort of situation. With the online environment, it brings in this whole concept of information sharing. I'm not only learning from the instructor, but I'm learning from the other students in the class that have these life experiences that they're now able to share with me, that it's easier to share. I mean, you can't be in a face-to-face class and having 20 people raise their hand trying to share their stories. But now that it's online, it's posted, it makes it that much easier. The idea of online resources is also a huge benefit. Right there in your course, you can have, endless possibilities of information that you can offer. If you just type in any topic into the Google search engine, you'll come up with hits by the millions. Information is right at your fingertips. And with the Wilkes University, the information on things like APA resources, library guides, looking up things for journal articles and database things, they are right there built into most of the courses. So that makes it even easier. Also, when we're talking about benefits, there's the idea of the diversity within your classroom. You don't have just one race or ethnicity or religion or walk of life or country or anything. It's not limited. It's so vast that it improves the educational system. The access to the education for everyone, disabilities, whether it is a physical disability or a learning disability, whatever the case is, this levels the playing field. It makes it more accessible for everyone. Everyone has a chance at the same education, which is truly great. It will improve your digital information literacy. It would be very difficult to go out in the world right now to find a job where technology and the digital world aren't incorporated. So by having this online education, whether you're an instructor or a student, you're taking part in it. You're being part of the technology and you're learning. So it's just going to give you more advantages when you step out into your career. And finally, from an administrative perspective, as an instructor, everything is streamlined in your course. The Dropbox assignments, one place. Discussions, one place. Gradebook, one place. When you grade those items, it goes right into the gradebook. If you want to communicate to your students, it's right there. It's all in one place, and it makes it so much easier for you. Obviously, there are some limitations and considerations when using an online classroom. The first one is going to be access to technology. Even though there's been so many advances, access to technology is still limited. Not everyone has a laptop. Not everyone has a PC, a tablet, or even a cell phone. So we're definitely limited with those technologies. There's ways around it. I mean, they can go to the library and utilize their technology. They can go to different internet cafes that might offer those, but still, it is something to consider. Second one is access to internet. Okay, at this point, a lot of people, more than at any other time, have access to the internet, but it's still not everybody. And even if someone does have access to the internet, it might not be high-speed internet. It still might be a dial-up internet, which is going to be difficult to take these courses. There's large files to download. There's videos to watch. So having limited internet access is going to be difficult. Also, a way around this would be places with internet available, the library, or places with a Wi-Fi hotspot. Another limitation will be the ability to use the technology. Okay, there's some learning curves with new technology, just like anything else. A lot of it is fear to try the new technology. So working within those restraints can make the online learning a little bit tougher than a face-to-face classroom. From an instructor perspective, there's a little bit of isolation. We have, when we're teaching in our classes and we're setting up our strategies, we have support from fellow teachers. But right now, this class is yours. It's built the way that you want it to, and no one's going to be, peeking through the window to see how it's going for you. So it's a little bit lonely, lacking of the peer support that way. But I mean, there's always people you can contact and other instructors, at Wilkes University that you can talk to and share your stories with. And finally, the last sort of consideration is the idea of information overload. When we talked about how great the online class is in terms of information, we talked about 100 millions, whatever the case is of whatever you're looking up, different articles that you can share. Trouble is, you can't share them all with the students. You need to figure out what are the best resources for your students. You don't want to overload them. You don't want to list 100 different journal articles on, yellow fever. That would just probably be overload for anyone. So you want to find the best articles and the best videos and share those. So sort of weeding out what's important and what's not is another consideration for online learning. Now, there's different reasons that we've gotten into online learning. Whether you are someone that saw it as a natural progression for teaching and seeing that society is moving that way, you wanted to jump on board, or maybe you were someone whose heels were dug in the dirt and you had to be pulled in kicking and screaming because your institution thought this is where you should be. Whatever the case is, I mean, we're here now, and you're on this journey. We're all on this journey together to learn and to develop these different skills. What we're trying to do is not change the way you teach. You're obviously effective at it. What we're trying to do is take how you teach and put it into the online community. We're trying to figure out how within your discipline can we take your strategies and work it into this different platform. So don't think that we're going to try and change everything that you do. We're just trying to make you work within this online community. A lot of concern might be, are you overwhelmed? Are there going to be things that you just don't know? Probably there's things that I come across every day that I just don't know in the online community, in online teaching. And I've been working with it for years. But an important thing to understand is that Wilkes University has tons of support staff for you. All you have to do is send an email, give a phone call, whatever you need, we will be there to help you out. So just take a deep breath, don't get overwhelmed, and maybe just have a little fun with it.